Now we have a word from the back of the room from Don Sawtelle.
I just realized it might be useful if I took a few minutes to explain something that we've been doing. It may be useful to some of you. I'm Don Sawtelle, an independent web developer, have been for a long time. And from 2000 to 2007, as a contractor, I supplied the internet presence for the California Milk Processor Board, the GotMilk.com people. And sometimes that involved servers with large cluster servers handling loads and stories breaking on the East Coast and rolling across the country. It was a lot of fun. It was kind of like playing Snap the Whip, because they would get their TV time a year in advance, and then they'd get a project done and some content to me at 6 a.m. that morning for an 8 a.m. deadline. And there was a lot of integration between online and offline, the way they would put it. And sometimes this was a contest. And one of the contests was somewhere in LA. They had a chilled glass bottle of milk inside a big plexiglass box so that you couldn't get to it, which is the link in with the Got Milk idea. And they ran a contest, I think it was for 24 hours, and the person who won was the person who could keep their hand on the plexiglass box trying to get to the milk for the longest period of time. And we live streamed that contest, and I don't remember which year it was, but it was kind of complicated then, and we had to work with a vendor who had lots of equipment, and computers weren't as powerful, so it was kind of specialized. And it went off fine. It was probably better quality than the live streaming we have today, but I just wanted to come up and tell you, since I did it with a kind of a consumer grade approach for the first time, just figuring out yesterday with Greg how easy it is, and to tell you what you need to, in order to do it, and what the key issue is. All you need is a camera with digital out, which lots of them would have. If you're going to be going from the back of a room, you want one with a good optical zoom. You need a reasonably recent computer or laptop. Lots of them will have USB or FireWire in that will be capable of getting the signal from the computer. And you need an account on, it can be a free service. We happen to be using Ustream.tv. It's ad supported. The ads aren't too bad. So it doesn't cost you much of anything. The one thing, besides kind of practicing with this stuff and getting past some glitches and figuring out which orifice to plug which cable into, that you have to do is you have to have decent quality upstream bandwidth, which usually is where you'll get into the potential problem and maybe be looking around some, especially in our area, because DSL is made for downloading, and not only is the advertised bandwidth for uploading much smaller, but it's often very variable in quality. So if you're trying to use DSL, maybe if you have the best grade of DSL connection and you're near a central switching office of the phone company and you've used this connection for a while and you know it works, you might be fine. I did some testing at a more rural location that I just moved to, and I had a very difficult time getting it to work from that. So you would either want to test the DSL out ahead of time, or you would want to look around for a venue like this one that has a T1, which is slower than DSL, but much more consistent in the bandwidth. And then you just set it up, and once it's working, you press a few buttons. And I've had people come by and kind of look at what I'm doing there and think it's complicated, and I wanted to tell all of you that it's not. So if live streaming is appropriate for your event and there's a value to that level of involvement as opposed to recording it digitally and then maybe cutting it up into pieces, which we will also be doing to provide this content again, go for it. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.